スタジオ3万
This is Winnie the Pooh. You are listening to the Nerd OD podcast. I'm torn between playing Shamu and eating fluffy biscuits. Oh, bother.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd OD podcast with your host, Reg.
And your other host, Dan. I don't like how you called yourself the host, Reg. Like, we're both hosts together.
I know, but last time round, you bigged yourself up massively, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it for a change.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. But I just
you were like, yo, it's your boy, Danny D.
Oh, that's true. I did. That's right. It all comes flooding back now. It was so long ago, Reg. So long.
To me
but,
now.
But when you say I'm the host, like that sounds like you are the main host and I'm just some like guest. It's like if Ant and Dec introduce themselves, they don't go, "Hi, I'm the host, Ant," and then, "Oh, I'm also the host, Dec." They go, "We're the hosts, Ant and Dec."
But the thing is, they get announcers to do it. That's the issue. If we had an announcer,
here are your hosts.
Exactly. But we don't have an announcer, so I'm introducing myself for someone who might be like, "Oh, what's this podcast?" I'll jump on and be like, "Oh, so Reg is a host."
Okay, in which case I have a brilliant idea that has just occurred to me, and you know what? Who gets the praise for this? It's Steve.
Oh, God.
Steve introduced me to something. I forget the name of the website. I know he sent it to me, but there is a website where you can type in whatever you want to say, and it has a load of like, I don't know what the audio version of deepfake is, but like they've managed to mimic hundreds of different characters' voices. Like the one he showed me was Winnie the Pooh, and literally you type in whatever you want to say, and it sounds like Winnie the Pooh is saying whatever you've typed. And there's loads of different people. Some are good, some are not so good, some are amazing. Like the Winnie the Pooh one was great.
Yeah.
So we'll get it to we'll get a different person to introduce us every week.
That would be awesome.
I need to find it now because I hate talking about things and then not being able to show people it. So I'll definitely have to find it. Something duck, rubber duck or something like that, but I don't know. I've got to find where he sent it me now. Let's continue on, and at some point I'm gonna bring Winnie the Pooh in.
Right. Okay. That sounds good.
Yep.
But how is thou anyway? It's been a while.
Not so bad. It has. It's been a whole 2 weeks because we didn't do it last week, did we?
Yes.
Did we?
Yeah, because we went to watch Shang-Chi last week and we popped.
Oh, that's right. It was Wednesday. It was thingy we couldn't do, wasn't it? D&D we couldn't do.
It was D&D, but hopefully,
of course.
Touch wood. This evening we will be able to record.
We'll see.
I doubt it very much, but it'd be lovely to get back on it.
Oh, it really would. I hope so, but we'll find out. I've decided with these sorts of things just to not really get my hopes up. I mean, at the very least, we definitely have 4 of us, so we can play a card game at worst case.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
I am officially on it.
I found the website. Let me see. Choose a voice. So yeah, we've got actors. We've got Beavis and Butthead. We've got characters from video games. We've got Dexter from Dexter's Lab. Duke Nukem. Family Guy. Flushed Away. Wow, they're going really like niche in this. Can you get Shrek? Of course you can get Shrek. Sesame Street. Cookie Monster. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Choose a reference.
Or Elmo. I'd love Elmo to intro.
Elmo.
La 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 la. This is the song. Elmo
no,
song.
I'm afraid we don't have Elmo.
Oh,
we've only got Cookie Monster.
Well, that's a shame.
Okay, weird. Yeah, I'm gonna try and not focus on this while we're trying to record a podcast.
Okay. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, I can multitask. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, I'm good. Nothing. I mean, it's been a week, and I can't really think of anything particularly notable that's happened. in my life that I can regale you with tales, I'm afraid, Reg.
Well, it's hit that time of the year where the music channels have started turning over already to Christmas music.
Well, I am
and
definitely I'm seeing advent calendars and the likes in shops.
I've just had, while we were talking about it, Google Play Store going, "Hey, have this movie on us now, Jingle All the Way." And I'm like, you know what? I'm all right. I'm actually all right. So, well, I had my auntie come down from Gloucester, or come up from Gloucester. We've not seen her since like Oliver was born, so she come up to like go see my granddad because he's not great, but also like it's my dad's birthday. I thought yesterday. So we went round on Sunday for some reason, and I don't know what it is. The 21st of September has something magical in my head.
Well, do you remember?
No.
The 21st night of September.
I should have expected.
It's from the song. It's from the song, literally. I look forward every year to that guy on YouTube doing his 21st night of September video and dance.
I've not seen it.
Really? Well, don't watch this year's. It's rubbish. But previous years, it's great. It's one of those where obviously he started up just doing a video in his bedroom, whatever, but it's like he just has loads of stuff queued to bits of the song, and it's really impressive. And each year they've got more and more grand, but they've always kept that sort of like, this is just a guy doing it. Okay, he's got a bit of a budget now. He's got sponsors. He's doing it for charity. But this year it's like a full-on short film, and it's just really, really dull. But it's disappointing. But either way, anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so we went round, but we went to Tesco's beforehand so we could get him like his present. And Oliver was adamant he was getting me dad one of these big stormtroopers, called like Mega Heroes is like the name of the actual figure. And you can get them all. Like he's got Oliver's got Spiderman, and they do like a huge range of like all the Marvel characters, all DC characters, all Star Wars characters and stuff. And for some reason, he's been obsessed with Chewbacca. And I don't know where it's come from, but he's just been really obsessed with Chewie. He absolutely loves Chewie. So when he's seen in my mum and dad's house, like we got me dad because he loves my dad loves Star Wars. I got him a little nerdy stormtrooper in a little box for him to put on his desk upstairs in the office. He went upstairs. Oliver went upstairs to get some toys ages ago and clocked the stormtrooper and was like, "Huh?" So my dad brought the box down, and then he clocked on that the stormtrooper is part of Chewbacca's world.
Okay.
And then his mind was blown with Star Wars. He was just like, "What the shit is this all about? People have got sticks and they're hitting each other with sticks and they light up the sticks. Like, this is what the fuck?" Like,
wow.
Just immensely happy with all the Star Wars. So now he's got like a couple of little mini Star Wars characters, but because he nicked my dad's mini stormtrooper, which I only found out about like on Friday, I was like, "What have you done to it? Like you've now turned his head backwards and it won't go back round the other way. Like you've knackered my dad's mini stormtrooper, so we're going to have to get him a stormtrooper, aren't we?" And he was like, "Yeah." So while we're in Tesco, he's seen the Mega Hero stormtrooper and was like, "Oh." And then seeing they had a Darth Vader and a Chewbacca, and he was just like, "Wow!" I was like, "No, we're only giving me dad the one. It's his birthday, so he gets the one present." So we got him the stormtrooper, wrapped it up, and I was like, when we went round to me mum and dad's, we had like a little mini buffet and whatnot. And then I was like, "Right, I know it's not your birthday yet, but Oliver couldn't wait because he stole your stormtrooper. He's got you a little something instead." So my dad started laughing, and it was wrapped in Paw Patrol wrapping paper because obviously Oliver chose it. So he passed it over, and then my dad was like, "Oh, I wonder what this could be." So Oliver started doing like like with his hand over his mouth, and my dad was like, "Okay." And then he did like a little mini like 2-finger gun sort of salute, and I was like, "Oh no, what's Oliver doing?" My dad was looking really weird. And then Oliver was just like grabbed the wrapping paper and just ripped a bit off of my dad. And my dad was like, "Oh, it's a stormtrooper." And Oliver was like, "Yeah," just grabbed the box and opened it. And I was like, No, it's Granddad's, isn't it? Isn't it Granddad's? Maybe when you're here, you might be allowed to play with it. And my dad was like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." So Oliver got really upset and was like, but I want to play with it. And then clocked on the back of the box. Like, he was showing me Dad Darth Vader on the back of the box and Chewbacca to be like, look, Dad, look, Granddad, look. Have you seen these are in it? And I was like, oh, dear God. So when we went
Just show him that it says like ages 8 and up on the box, and he'll be like, "Oh, okay, I get it. Fair enough."
I wish. If anything, he's like, "You want me to have 8 of these? I need to have 8 of these." I'm like, "No, that's not how it works." So we were like, right. As we went to leave, my Auntie Shirley was like, "So is Star Wars his thing?" And I was like, "To be fair, anything is his thing." And it's like, he's obsessed with Toy Story and Paw Patrol and Turtles and obviously now Star Wars. But like, I think Toy Story and Paw Patrol. And then Oliver come running up with like, he's found a C-3PO one, and he was like, "Oh, look." And then she was like, "Would you like to buy one of your robot-y Star Wars things with this?" And like passed him like 20 quid. And I was like, oh no. So needless to say, on the way home, we got Chewbacca and Darth Vader from the pair of them, and he just sat there for nights at a time, just having a massive Star Wars fight with Chewbacca and Darth Vader. And it's been really entertaining to watch. But he does he can't do a Chewbacca, like I can't do it either, but he can't obviously physically do it yet. So he just goes, "Ah!" Just shouts, screams like Pee Wee Herman. And then he does the breathing mask for Darth Vader, and then goes me me me, and like waves his hand about like he's got a lightsaber in it. So like, he knows, and he was even gutted when he first opened up Darth Vader, and he didn't think it came with the lightsaber. So he did the whole like, and then as he was waving his hand about, he was like, "What?" And then like physically looked upset until he looked at the actual proper packaging and seen there was still a lightsaber in there, and then he got really excited and started smacking me with the lightsaber.
Oh, so it's just this natural thing, isn't it? You get a lightsaber and you have to do the noises.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There were apparently, I can't remember which actors it was, but apparently they had to tell some of the actors when they were filming the new trailer. Was it him?
Yeah.
Stop doing the noises. But you know, we'll do it in post. This is Hollywood.
It's mad, isn't it? But and then we realised that when I was like, "I know it's your birthday on Tuesday, Dad, but you know," and he was like, "It's Sunday." He's like, "Oh, so it is today?" And he was like, "Next Sunday." And I was like, don't know where I've got in my head the 21st of September is something. Like, because I should know, and I do know my dad's birthday is the 26th, because that's part of like every alarm he ever uses for anything. Like, part of the passcode is like that number and other things.
Okay. Right.
So it's just like, I should know it. Like, even his license plate and stuff has 26 on it, so I know that's his date of birth. And for some reason, I just could not get that into my head at all this week.
Dear.
Just completely mashed. So yeah, look, bit of a dick, but at the same time, you know, you got a stormtrooper out of it and a nice bottle of whiskey. So
at least your only born son has a nice, easy to remember birthday.
That is right.
Mm-hmm.
It's at some point. Although the year always confuses me. I've been trying to do the because now he's about to hit 3. He gets 33 hours of childcare. I know this is not interesting for anyone in the slightest, but just to prove how much of a shit dad I am, I kept on putting in his date of birth. It's like he was born, so he's nearly 3. Regis Maskell's 2019 he was born. Nope, that's not right, of course. 2017. And like, he's going to be like 4 or 5. I'm like, 2020, when, if he's not 2017, not 2019, when is he? Oh, shit, and I was like, 2018, of course. So for some reason, it's dates today. I think because I've been looking at so many dates for my actual proper work that everything's just all mashed into one, and I just got date memory loss. Couldn't think of the right phrase for that. So that'll do. But yeah, so it's been an awful time for dates recently.
Oh dear.
Not good.
Oh dear. Poor Reg.
But apart from that, all is Taco Grande, sir.
I'm glad it is. I'm very glad it is.
And well, because all the decent telly started coming back. So we've had weeks.
It has. And also some really poor new telly.
Okay.
Well, I've been. I mean, we're looking for a new sitcom to watch, myself and Shell. So we generally will have normally on the go. We'll have like some sort of police procedural show, or some hospital drama, like American, 45 minutes to an hour show. That there's about 7 seasons of that. We'll just, if we've got nothing much to do, nothing major on, that's what we'll just have on the telly. So we've been watching New Amsterdam and The Rookie and Castle. We've just started Elementary. Well, I've watched all that. Shell hasn't watched that. So something like that is just generally pretty good in that you don't really need to follow it. There's always some sort of like story that goes through it, like one of the characters' mum was murdered and they want to find out who did it, and it turned out it was this gangster, and just something that every now and again there'll be an episode where at the beginning it'll be previously on whatever it is, and it will show something relevant. Oh, like, okay, it's one of those episodes this time. Otherwise it's just like murder of the week, let's see, it was murdered. So we'll have that, and then we'll also have a sitcom that we watch at lunch, because we're both working from home. Me and Shell can sit down and watch something at lunch and get through a whole episode and not sort of have to stop halfway through an hour-long show. So we noticed on Now TV, which is Sky, they've got this new show with The Rock in called Rock, which is basically like, I mean, it's I get a theory. They've done this with quite a few different things. Young Sheldon was the same, right? And Everybody Hates Chris. It was like some pretty famous actor or character that's already established that then they show what their life growing up was like. Okay, and Everybody Hates Chris, I don't remember watching much of it, but I remember it being pretty funny. I mean, it had Terry Crews in it, so and then Young Sheldon, I've never had a chance to watch, but Shell says it's really good, and it's actually better. Well, she says it's better than Big Bang Theory, and it is obviously a different style of sitcom, isn't it? It's not in front of an audience. Oh, okay, maybe then. Fair enough. Eventually, I'll get around to watching it, and I'll probably tell you whether I agree. And I read what the synopsis of what this young rock show is about, and I was like, oh, that's kind of clever. Let's see. And essentially, it's set like 15, 20 years in the future, and The Rock is now running for president. Which that's always that people always joke about him running for president. It's either him or Tom Hanks. Yeah. So I like that they've taken that and they've sort of based this show around it, and then it's him telling stories to the guy who plays the in WandaVision and in Ant-Man, the cop who does magic. I forget. He plays this. I think he plays himself, because he mentions he used to be an actor, but now he's like a news anchor, and he's basically interviewing The Rock. And The Rock's like, I've decided I want to use this interview to tell you loads of stories about my past, because loads of things people don't know about me growing up. Which, first of all, if this is going to go on for the entire series and however more after this, it's going to be a very long interview. Yeah. Because each story is like this half-hour story. But the phases of its life it looks at, they've cast a version of him when he was like 9 or 10, a version of him when he's like 15, 16, and a version of him when he's 20 or early 20s. So one is in junior school, one is high school, and one is college. And fair enough, they kind of all look like him. And it's cast his parents. I think his parents play the same actors all the way through. But first of all, because you've got these 3 different times of their life, the first episode, which I'll give you that, I've only watched that first one because it didn't inspire me to watch anymore.
Right, okay.
You can't just focus on getting you one story that might have, some jokes in it, some actual funny moments. It's like, here's like 8 minutes of me when I was a little kid. Here's 8 minutes of me when I was in high school. And here's 8 minutes of me when I was a college football player. So I get that it's kind of setting up who the versions of him are and what they're, where they are in life. And maybe the future episodes settle on like, here is a story based on when I was 8 years old. But if this first one's anything to go by, it might not be. And the thing is, I like the idea of the premise. Great, they've done it plenty of times in these different shows. They just forgot to put jokes in it. It's like it's so not funny.
There's a show that he is in. That dude from Ant-Man and Wasp and thing is Randall Park's his name.
That's it.
Is
it fresh off the boat?
Yes. Have you watched that?
I think we watched a couple of episodes.
I was going to say that is a funny sitcom that's like 20 minutes at a time. That's like me and Ash. It's all finished now as well. It's completely like done.
Yeah.
Me and Ash watched the whole thing, and we really, really enjoyed it. It's just one of those you can stick on in the background and just have on, but like the jokes are entertaining.
Fair enough. The only good thing about this rock show is the young version of him. It's about when his dad was a wrestler. And his dad was mates with all these old, like, classic wrestlers. So, like, the Iron Sheik and Andre the Giant and stuff. So they've cast people to play those characters.
Oh, no.
So there's a guy, there's a guy who turned up and he walks in and I was like, oh, okay, that's Andre the Giant. And then he's like, and his friend Andre. And they're pretty good. I mean, it's not like that's not necessarily my era. I sort of was aware of wrestling then, but I absolutely know, like the Iron Sheik.
I'm just looking at some of them now, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But Andre the Giant is pretty spot on. Even his voice is pretty good. I don't know whether there's any more to come, but that was kind of interesting that they brought those people in.
Have you seen as well, speaking of The Rock and wrestling, so the trailer's now dropped for Netflix's interactive movie Escape the Undertaker?
Oh, right. I have no idea what this is.
Have you not? So it's basically comes out for Halloween,
right?
Basically, and from what you can get from the trailer, so he uses the power of the underworld to collect souls for his urns or something.
Okay, wait, this is the Undertaker from wrestling.
Yes, the Undertaker from wrestling.
Okay, it just sounded like some sort of horror themed thing.
Oh no, it is a horror themed thing, but
no, I know, but the Undertaker is the Undertaker from WWE.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or WWF, as I like to still call it.
Fair enough.
Because I'm retro. Yeah. So that happens, and then he's in this mansion for some reason, and he's talking about these urns, and then all of a sudden he's got a Ring doorbell. And that goes off, and he looks at it, and it's A New Day, which is the trio that go in like tag teams and stuff like that. But they're the geeky ones that always do like the Chocobo theme tune or the Final Fantasy fanfare and all that sort of stuff as they're walking up to the ring entrance in real life. So I was like straight away, ooh, this could be entertaining. And then it just looks so bad. There's like a bit when the Undertaker's doing like all the narration like over the top of like the trailer bit, and then you've got 3 really bad text boxes that just appear at the bottom of the screen, and it's like, follow the fog, go through the creaking door, follow the voice upstairs. And I was like, okay, you choose which one it does, but then it chooses like follow the fog, whatever it is, and someone's like, oh, why don't we go down there? I'm like, oh no, but I need to see it because it just looks so bad. I'm like, I've got to watch this.
Did you ever watch? I don't know how you describe it, but Bandersnatch.
No, didn't bother in the end.
So, I mean, the fact that Netflix have set up the system to do it, a lot of the stuff they set it up for was kids shows. But Bandersnatch, like most of them are like that, where it's like, it's choose your own adventure type thing, but they're all fairly linear. You got the branching paths, but Bandersnatch was really clever how it did it, because it was relevant to the main story of like this video game developer, and it sort of, if you took a certain path, it would loop you around, and it was all, I mean, I forget exactly the story now, but I remember it being something to do with sort of time loops, so you could get stuck in this loop and get to redo moments of it until, so the thing might last, the main story might be an hour, but you could make it, stretch it out to about 3-4 hours if you really wanted to, and take all these different branches, but keep coming back, almost Groundhog Day like, to repeat your moments until you got the right one that would get you out of it. So it was a lot cleverer than I'm gonna expect these ones to be.
Oh yeah, massively.
Yeah. And do you know who else did a good one? So you can kind of do it on YouTube in that you can obviously just link to other videos. So a lot of creators have done this where you've got the main video on the channel and then it comes to the end and it gives you 2 videos to pick
Yes.
from. And then they're unlisted, but it goes from there. Markiplier?
Nope.
So Markiplier is a gaming, well, at least he used to be a gaming YouTuber. He does all sorts of other stuff now. It's one of those you'd probably recognize if you saw him or heard his voice.
Right, okay.
Because he's got like 40 million subscribers or something like that. And he's one of the better ones. He's not one that just sits playing Minecraft and Fortnite all day, He's one of the, like, from the PewDiePie era. But he did one, like, proper full, like, production value. And it's about this heist. But there must be 50 different paths that branch, and he's got loads of other people like Smoyo involved. So if you take one path, you end up with this musical bit in a prison, which was written and performed by Smoyo and stuff. And that was, again, really quite impressive that even like not a decent massive company like Netflix, this YouTuber has put together this choose your own adventure style thing with dozens and dozens and dozens of videos.
I just realised like how old I am when you're like, oh yeah, I did it with like Smoyo and he's this, and I'm like, who are these? What's going on?
You know Smoyo.
What's YouTube?
How do you not know Smoyo?
I do not really.
No, I know, but everyone knows.
I've only ever started using YouTube for properly like daily or bi-daily since working from home, and it just literally has just been like either What Culture Gaming or all these that does all the Florida stuff.
Right.
So like
Smoyo do the Songify stuff.
No
where they take news stories or whatever and or like viral videos and they make songs to them. They auto-tune them and stuff, auto-tune the news.
Oh, so I might know. Are they the ones that did the I really love cats?
Had your wife.
Right,
I love cats. I love every kind of cat. I just want to hug them all, but I can't hug every cat. Yeah, those guys.
I do know of them then. I just didn't know who they were. But
fair enough. They're like a staple of YouTube. They've been going so long. No one watches them anymore. The videos depressingly barely get any views, even though they've got like 20 odd million subscribers or something ridiculous.
Oh, but, good. Well, you mentioned kids and Fortnite. So have you seen the fucking ludicrous fashion deal that they've got going on at the moment in real life? So you know how you can go into like Primark and pick up a Fortnite t-shirt?
Okay. Right?
Yeah. And it's like a $5.
Yeah.
And if that. And, yeah, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
Well, in the game, there's a anthropomorphic dog, I think is the right word for it. Mm-hmm. So a dog that walks around on its hind legs and and he wears a Fortnite hoodie, right, in the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pronounce the name of this incorrectly. I know it is, but it's Balenciaga.
Okay, that's that fashion brand that all the TikTokers wear. Right.
Okay, so that probably makes sense why it's a little bit expensive anyway on that side of it, if that's the case. Okay. But Jesus Christ! So for his hoodie alone, right, it was 550 quid, right? And all that says is an exact same writing as your Primark one, Fortnite, right? With the name of the brand underneath it.
Yeah, it's the name of the brand that makes a difference.
300 quid for the cap. For just a shirt, 795 quid. For a sweatshirt, £900. Like, how the fuck? Why? Like, and sizes are selling out.
It's crazy.
It's out of stock.
Because I would still say, I know there are plenty of adults that play Fortnite, but it's generally, there's quite a lot of kids that play it, right? I'm not wrong with that.
Oh, no, you're not wrong.
I know Sean would disagree. I'm sure there are, I know there's lots of YouTubers that play it, so it's fair enough. But I think the core audience probably can't afford a £300 t-shirt. That's why they sell them in Primark, right?
Yeah, but I get that bit. That's fine, but it's the fact it's like on this website, it's all the sizes that big people have. that are sold out. Like the XS
Jeez.
and the small and the medium are all in stock, 90% of them. But it's just like the large, extra large, XXL, like all those are sold out. It's just honestly, mate, the prices are I don't get fashion anyway. Like Ash works in a fashion retailer, and she comes home and she's like, "Oh, I hit my target today just by selling a jacket for like $3,000." I'm like,
yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah," and it was like some 17-year-old with his like Go Henry fucking debit card, and I'm like, whose dad puts $3,000 on a fucking Go Henry debit card for his kid to go out and fucking eat snacks and buy shit with? I'm like, it's unreal how people like. Even I think if I won the lottery, right, I would not be that guy that would be like, check out this amazing fucking like shirt. You know, it only cost me $4,000, but it has got a little guy riding a horse on it. Look, logo. Like, that's got no interest to me unless it was like Yu Suzuki came up to me and was like, right, I've just signed this shirt and done an illustration of Ryozuki on the back, but it is $7,000. And I'm like, take my $7,000. I want that. I'll never wear it, but I will frame it. And he's like, no, it's all proofed and it's all amazing, so I'd prefer you to wear it. I'd be like, I don't care what you prefer, Yu Suzuki. I'd just give you $7,000 for it. No, I mean,
These
to go on
sorts-
the fucking wall.
These sorts of like fashion brands, they seem to have pivoted from like I'm sure they've been making clothes for years, and it was their name was on the label. But the thing, I think they realised that all these people want people to know they've spent £300 on a T-shirt. So it's all about T-shirts and hoodies and whatever that have got the name of the brand massive over the front.
Yeah.
And that just says it all. The fact it's not, it is about, look what I've spent my money on. I can afford to spend £300 on a T-shirt. Aren't I amazing?
Yeah.
So when are we sorting our merch line out, Reg?
Well, I'm on it now on Redbubble.
Okay, sound.
It's $7,000 for this T-shirt signed by Reg, and it's got
Beautiful.
an illustration of a dog.
I mean, there's
Wearing
nothing
a
wrong with
hoodie.
having just a limited edition of one. It's like NFTs. They're like, people charge thousands of dollars for them when there's only like one of them, and people just want them for the collector's item. So,
Yeah, I mean that sort of stuff. I get it. This sort of shit. Fortnite,
oh yeah, I agree.
like, absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. Like in 10 years' time, 5 years' time, I reckon even maybe no one's going to be playing Fortnite. It'll be gone, and all these people that spent fucking £500 or whatever on a T-shirt will be like, well, that was a waste. At least if it's like a classic cult movie of likes of if this Balenciaga or whatever the hell they're called come out with like a Star Wars or a Back to the Future or a Godfather like line, then you're like, you know what, these are cult classics that have been around for like 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, whatever. Then yeah, I get that. People are like, oh, interested. But when they're just like, you know what, this is the hot craze at the minute, fucking go for it, boom.
Yeah, but you say that, but, look at Minecraft. That's 10 years old now, and it's barely waned from popularity.
Yeah, but the thing with Minecraft is it's always different. Like, I know they're putting a few little game modes into Fortnite, but there's going to be another game that's going to come along that'll be very similar, because Minecraft, there's about 4 or 5 different people that try to take it on, and then we're like, yeah, we can't do this anywhere near as good as Minecraft. Whereas I can name about 40 battle royales just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And each of them doing different things compared to what Fortnite are doing. So, yeah, I'd say it won't be long until the definitive one comes out. Like, I hear more talk about, like, Warzone now than I do Fortnite. And I think it's only because of the live concerts that go into it and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's each season.
About.
Yeah, true.
But 90% of the time, you hear more about the Call of Duty one. And then you've got Battlefield one coming out shortly as well. And both of those, I think, are going to completely overshadow like Fortnite. It's just going to be the little kids that are playing it.
It's crazy, isn't it, how the way the games have sort of pivoted to this, like the seasons, instead of being like, here's the first game, here's the sequel, here's another sequel, things like that. It is like, I mean, Fortnite is just Fortnite, but there's been like season 1, season 2, season 3. I don't know what they're up to now, but can you even go back and play any of the content from the older seasons?
No, it's all taken off.
It's here's what is current. So it's almost like churning out sequels without it looking like it. The same with Destiny does it. Like, don't they? They started, they released Destiny and then they released Destiny 2 a year or two later. But Destiny 2 is now far more like the game as a service where they release sort of add-on packs, which aren't really true sequels. Yeah, exactly. And that's the next Assassin's Creed, right? Aren't they doing an Assassin's Creed that's going to bring all of the different Assassin's Creed games together?
Potentially. That's rumoured. It's not an actual, like...
I think it's something. It's definitely something, whether it's the next absolute Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Infinite, I think it's called, isn't it? So I'm sure...
going around,
But, end of the day, stuff like... I saw Avengers the other day for a tenner. The Avengers game just shows that they don't always work.
No. No, that's it, isn't it? Which is a shame, because that had the prospect of being brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the Black Panther add-on they just did recently looks really good, but yeah, it's just not enough. I haven't got the time and the patience to go onto a game like that, because I've heard about all the having to redo levels over. I get it on mobile games, it's a bit more in the moment sort of thing, but when you're sitting down and you're playing a game and giving your time and undivided attention to a video game, like to have to just redo levels just to grind to be able to open up the next chapter or whatever.
I get it for some styles, because that's like just basically MMO, just right there. You've just described that's exactly what you do. You go, I suppose, grinding on top, or playing your RPGs. Like, you literally grind around a map in order to progress at certain points if you want to be strong enough to do certain stuff. And that sort of stuff, I get it, but I also completely understand what you're saying. This isn't the type of game where I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
The likes of the RPG and stuff is what you're getting yourself into, whereas people go into this thinking, this is like an action or game as a service sort of thing. Yeah, great. But they think, this is Avengers, I can just go through the story mode campaign and just complete it, and that's that, have fun with that. But having to strengthen your character by repeating the same level and having to go through the story part of the level, whereas at least with an RPG or a JRPG or like an MMO, you can just go to a certain point at a map, get off your mount, and just go around just fucking hacking.
Absolutely.
Shit.
I've done that in plenty of JRPGs where you've put your lore cap on or whatever to get random battles happening more regularly, and then just fight everything that comes at you. And you do that for like an hour, and then you've leveled up about 12 levels, and then like, great, okay, I can go and take on this boss now. But yeah, that feels like more of just a choice. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do that.
No, I completely get that, and that's the thing, isn't it? With this style game, it is slowly taking over, and I'm like, I'd love to try them, but I genuinely don't have the time for this. Like, I was playing Thingy, wasn't I? Final Fantasy 14, and like really enjoying that, but then work happens, and I'm like, I don't have time for this now, and I haven't touched it, annoyingly, for about 2 weeks now. And they've just done the Final Fantasy 15 event as well, where you can get the regalia from Final Fantasy 15, and I've been dying to get that, but I'm like, I don't have time to log on and do that, so it's frustrating.
I bet.
But while we're talking about the Marvel games and you're talking about mobile stuff, have you seen the Marvel Future Revolution on the Android or Apple?
I've only seen adverts pop up on my I don't know, like YouTube or whatnot.
So I'm level 49 with Spiderman and level 86 with Doctor Strange at the minute. He started off really, like, I got really involved in it. As it always, like, games for some reason on the mobile just drag me in massively while I should be working.
Right.
I just think it's a bit of an issue, but at the same time, I'm like, meh. So with this one, because it was like, I get to go Spider-Man. Amazing. So Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, I'll have a think through. And the story to it is brilliant. And like the the visuals especially for a mobile are outstanding, like really, really good. They've got nailed the characters completely. The different outfits you can get, like costumes you can get, are stunning for like some of them, and you can mix and match it so everyone looks different. Like I've not seen another Spider-Man look the way my one does.
Nice.
And there's like hundreds of them running around. Like the move sets are fantastic. The bad guy variation's great. The gameplay isn't really that varied. It's just go either collect this, talk to this guy, or talk to this guy, kill 1 million of this thing, come back to collect this thing. So it's very samey, I suppose, in that aspect of things. But the story is basically a convergence of different universes all coming together after this event that Hank Pym messes up on. So him and Tony Stark basically work together, try and formulate this machine to basically undo it. But then you've got like all the bad guys, so it's not just focusing on like Thanos. It's got like, we just defeated like MODOK coming through. Thanos is this next reach that's coming through into the new ones, but you've got them all, like so many different variations of all the bad guys coming in and everything. And I was like, this is great. But then I figured it's also got an autoplay on it. So I was like,
okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to literally hit autoplay while I just sort out this CV and speak to this guy and do this. And then the next thing you know, I've just left it on autoplay for like, an hour and just occasionally like flick the screen up and down a bit so it looks as though I'm still, like my phone won't black out. And then I'm like, I have no idea where I'm up to on the story now. But
oh, it's progressed the story.
Yeah, it goes through everything. If you autoplay it, like it will literally just go through the cutscenes. It'll go through everything. So I'm just like, yeah, I have no idea where I'm up to. But I'm now in that thing of I've got nothing else really on my phone, so I'll just launch that. So 9 times out of 10, I don't even look at the phone now. It's just playing in the background while I'm working, and I'm like, all right, I'm level like 50 now with Peter. That's cool. I'm like, I have no idea why I play it, but it's there. And that's the thing that's weird, because I'm like, I should really just delete it because I don't touch it. But there's a part of me that's like, don't delete that, Reg.
I'm like that with apps generally. My phone, I'm getting a new phone on Friday, and I needed like I need to go through the new Pro, the 13 Pro. I was just like, I'm 3 years into this phone now. Speaker's starting to go a bit. Let me trade it in while I can still get some money for it. So, but anyway, I'm going through my phone, and I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apps, and I mean, I probably use about 5% of them. So I just need to go through and go, right, look, I don't need that transferring. I don't need that transferring. But you know how it is. You're like, oh, you're in Tesco. You better download the Tesco Club Card app. Right, that goes on there. Okay, right. Okay, let me have a look. Might get Uber Eats one day. Let me download that. Oh, they've got an offer. Okay, I'll keep that there. And it just sits there, like just dozens and dozens of these apps that I've downloaded once for something and then just never touched again.
Yep,
I seem to delete them all. But anyhow, speaking of Spider-Man. I have 2 things to mention with Spider-Man. One, we haven't said anything for the last couple of weeks about the Sony, the presentation they did, where they showed off, obviously, God of War, Ragnarok, cinematic trailer for that, the new information about the Spider-Man sequel, the true sequel they're doing, Spider-Man 2. Any of that sort of stuff, we haven't touched it. And there's something else about Spider-Man, which I'll get to in a minute. That might be a nice way to wrap up things. But yeah, I love how the internet's gone crazy about Thor being like big fat, like
oh, I know, right?
Blob is great, and one of the characters apparently not being the right ethnicity. Just there's always something, isn't there?
I was going to say it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, the fat Thor, as people are calling him, which is ridiculous because that is Thor.
It can be, absolutely. I mean, why does it? That is entirely relevant, especially the way they set him up in the games. I kind of like that direction because he thinks he's all that. He thinks he's amazing, and he's not like Thor. The Thor that most people know of, the Marvel Thor, is quite like egotistical, right? He does think he's amazing, but you can see that he's got something in him that grounds him and makes him a decent person, or at least want to be. Whereas this version, it sounds like, doesn't have any of that. He's just like, I'm the son of Odin and I can do what I want. And so he just sits around eating all day. It sort of fits that personality, if you ask me. So I wasn't shocked when I saw that. But
no, but I think most people were, because like you said, most people were like, oh, Thor, right, it's going to look just like their version of, what was his brother called in it that you fought?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah,
I was going to say Loki, but it's not Loki because that's Atreus, isn't it?
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
They mention it in the trailer, though, don't they?
Oh, right. Yeah. So, in fact, yeah.
So yeah.
In terms
if you've not played the first God of War by now, you're not going to. Well, the reboot God of War, you're not going to play it. So
So there's rumors going around that the first God of War 2018, is coming out on PC shortly. So there's those rumors going around. So the people, obviously, with it being a PlayStation exclusive, if that comes out on the PC, like the Naughty Dog collection is coming out on PC.
Oh, okay.
Not Naughty Dog collection, the Uncharted collection.
Right.
Which
Okay.
is coming out, but it's not the full collection. It's Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy.
Okay.
Which, Lost Legacy, awesome, but Uncharted 4, like if you're going to put a franchise over to a different console, start the start.
Yeah.
Or do what Shenmue did, where he did Shenmue the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
no, that is odd. I mean, obviously, the 4's regarded as the best one, and with it being was that the only one? Well, that and Lost Legacy, they're the only ones that got made for the PS4.
Yeah.
So the others were remastered, right? So I guess it makes sense, but that doesn't mean you can't just do like a cheap bundle of the first 3. Do the Uncharted collection.
Exactly. You've already got the HD collection that they've just redone with the remastered ones. Just literally put them as a separate disc, or do a collector's edition where you get all of them for the one, in the one hit. That's what makes sense to me. But doing it this way through doesn't.
No.
But yeah, I am very excited for that. Like, I love the new God of War. I know loads of people are booting off saying that it doesn't look like a franchise. The sequel just looks like DLC, and I'm like, it doesn't. Like, God of War 2018 looked so beautiful and took so much power out of the PS4 that's why it looks so good.
That's absolutely true. Like, I saw like a side by side comparison of, I forget the character's name, the head you carry around, and you could see the improvements, like the hair on his beard and stuff looked better, but the face looked very, very, very similar. Like, it's still. If they showed me the original look, I would still be like, do you know what, that looks great. Just God of War is probably is the best looking game. I'd say that and Detroit, the 2 best looking games I've ever played.
That's a nice cheeky little what's it called? My words have gone on me, failed me. My words and my maths today have completely gone. Oh my God, what do you call it when you segue? That's okay. The one, isn't it?
I wasn't quite finished on God of War though, because I just want to add, like, so you're saying people think it just looks like DLC. That to me, like, when I played the first God of War, like, I don't like it when games like do a sequel and then suddenly everything's changed because they want to make it feel like a new game, even though it's set in the same world. So I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami 2 at the moment, and half the game is set in the same neighborhood as the first game, and the layout is pretty much exactly the same, but even though not much time has passed, a lot of the buildings and even the inside of there are some shops and bars and things like that you go into, the whole layout has changed, and it just feels like they've changed it just for the sake of it, whereas in real life it probably wouldn't have changed as much. But because they obviously built it from the ground up on a new system, it was a new engine, it's obviously going to be a bit different, but it almost takes you out a little bit. So when I played the first God of War, obviously you go into the chamber where you can travel to the different realms, and there's, probably like, is there 4 or 5 other realms that you just can't go to, and you don't get to go to at any point in the game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, 100% they're going to come into play in the sequels, because they won't want you treading old ground again, and at least they can explain that the main world, where the world serpent and whatnot was, that world has sort of been altered by everything that happened. So that's going to be a little bit different, but you'll get these new realms where you've actually, you've got completely different things to do. So it made sense. It was almost like, I'm pretty sure they thought of it and thought, right, let's set these places up that it looks like you're going to be able to visit, but you can't, and we'll use them in a sequel. So it will be a bigger, different game.
Well, we're hoping it's going to be a bigger game because it's the last one as well. Apparently,
Okay.
This reboot, Corey Balrog has cut Balrog. Balrog. I keep on calling him Balrog because in my head it's the Street Fighter. Every time I read his surname, I just automatically go to Street Fighter.
Oh, I go to Lord of the Rings, but okay.
Right, okay, fair enough. Well, that ties in quite nicely with this, what I was about to say, because, he's come out and said that this is literally like 2 and done for this reboot, because what they don't want to do is extend the story out for no reason.
No, fair enough.
Just to make it into a trilogy. He was like, we've got enough, and at the end of the day, this took 5 years of my life to basically do the first one, and then the second one to come along, and that's took the same amount of time. Like 15 years to do a franchise is a very, very long time. He's like, when I bought the Lord of the Rings box set, and he was like, and I looked at the amount of hours that could go into all of this, and like all this and stuff, he was like, yeah, okay, this is going to take a lot of time for me to get through. And he's like, I don't want people to sit down and play these games and go, yeah, this is going to take a long time for me to get through, because it just seems really daunting. He was like, we've got enough here now. We don't want filler. We just need to go bish, bash, bosh and get it done. But there's so many questions left unanswered and so much stuff, like you said, different like realm stuff. Like, is it just going to be a case of balls to the wall action, like all the way through it, to be like, here's like a little bit of story, get through all the action, all the bad guys, and then just have like a really long scene, like how they're going to play everything out. Like, I'm really intrigued, but like I've got faith because the first one was done so
based on how good that first one was, I have no doubt they know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this should have been like, foreshadowed, as they say, because the title is Ragnarok, so I suppose at the end of the day it makes sense for it to be the final one, which is good. But as you were talking about Detroit, Become Human, so Quantic, have you heard the rumours going around about Quantic Dream?
No.
They're going around, apparently they're making a new Star Wars game, and it's
wow,
18 months into its development cycle already. Going into it, so we're probably going to be expecting some news coming out of like the TGS or something towards the end of the year. At least maybe a little mini teaser. So apparently they're not doing it in their normal style either. It is going to be an action game that they've got coming through, which is a shame, because I think if they did something like that, that'd be awesome. Like Knights of the Old Republic, getting remastered, coming back out again. Like, well, not remastered, remade, which is awesome. It's not just a remaster; it's a genuine like remake from the ground up, which is just ace.
But not by BioWare.
Not by BioWare, but I can't remember the name of the company that's doing it. But I know that they've done some good shit in the past, so I've got good faith on them in that one. But I tried going back to it, didn't I, when we were talking about it a few months back. I got like the Play Pass or whatever it was on the phone. I was like, you know what, I love KOTOR. Went back and I was like, you know what, it just hasn't aged well in the slightest, and it really hasn't. So a remake of it is going to be incredible. So.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That's the thing that held me off. I'd heard so many sort of bad things about like the story's amazing. Everyone's got love for this game, but it's not playable as well by today's standards.
Yeah, not in the slightest. But hopefully this new remake is going to be Taco Grande, as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure only you ever say that.
Oh, that's a shame.
But yeah,
it's a good phrase.
And then the Spider-Man 2 trailer.
Sorry.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it showed. I know there were people on both sides of the fence with the Miles Morales game, whether it was a DLC or whether it was a true sequel or whatever. But it's, the truth is, it was somewhere in the middle, basically, wasn't it? It was a decent sized game, but it's just
going back to Lost Legacy. It's
that. Basically. Exactly.
It's a side story that's not a DLC because they put effort, time, and it's a good chunk of something that can progress the characters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not a fully fledged title.
Yeah, but at least he got. I mean, the thing I'm reading, most people are saying like they want it to be a Peter Parker story with Miles Morales featured, which is what the first game was. They did it pretty well in terms of giving you these extra characters to play. So,
my thing in this is I think that at the end of the sequel, Peter's going to go, and I think that's why they're hinging a lot on Miles, because Miles played a big part in the first one, and then in the sequel, I'm hoping it's going to be co-op.
Yeah,
and because that would just be awesome. One getting to go as Miles Morales and one getting to go as Spidey would just be good. Awesome. And then I think either at the end of this one or the beginning of the third one, I reckon Peter will go and you'll take over as Miles. That's what me thinks. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it would be cool. But yeah, I loved the Venom little reveal and stuff in that trailer.
That makes sense as well. I when the trailer started, I was sort of thinking about, I wonder who they're going to put into this and who's going to be the main villain, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Venom, do you remember Spider-Man 3, or have you blotted that out of your memory?
I tried my best, but it's there. It's always there.
It's always there. So that was the first time we'd seen Venom in a film, right?
Yeah.
And it was a bit truer to the comics in that it was so Topher Grace played an astronaut who got infected with Venom and then brought him back to Earth. And Topher Grace did an AMA on Twitter recently. I think he's got a new TV show coming out, and loads of people were asking him about Spider-Man and stuff. And specifically, one person just said, "Are you in the new Spider-Man movie?" And I'm going to read you out his answer here now. Spoilers, okay? Big spoilers ahead. Please keep it between us, but yes, I am in it. The plot starts with Peter Parker, Tom Holland, bummed that everyone knows his identity, and then some crazy stuff happens with Doctor Strange and Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina, comes into his dimension. Then Electro and the Green Goblin hop out of one of those energy circles, and they're like, "It's spider stomping time." Then Tom Hardy and I pop out and battle each other, and I win, obviously. It's like not even a fight. I just kick his ass immediately. Not to give too much away, but there are also some actors from the original 70s Spider-Man show, Aquaman and Batman, Affleck, not Keaton crossover. And thanks to Disney's Han Solo's Ghost from Rise of Skywalker's there, and that Eve robot from WALL-E. Again, please keep it between us. So there you go.
Well, you spoiled a huge chunk of it now for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But,
that's quite upsetting.
I mean, I didn't. Topher Grace, I was just reading what he said.
I mean, I should have closed my eyes or my ears.
Absolutely.
You've got how amazing.
Yeah. You've kind of got two ways to go with things like that. Like the amount of I think Andrew Garfield's been asked that question a million times, and he's just like, "Oh, I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really say anything." Every time he sort of glances off camera, and it's like the Marvel lawyers are stood there with the baseball bats, just like keep your mouth shut. But you can either be like that, just deny it, or you can go all in, just be like, "Oh yeah, then this." I like that he chose that direction.
Done it the best way, and now it's going to make me sad if they don't bring in the 70s like TV Spider-Man and stuff in, because
or WALL-E
be amazing, or WALL-E. I think Oliver would absolutely lose it if WALL-E and Spider-Man were in the same movie together.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, they bring it in into the Spider-Verse, don't they? The whole Spider-Man pointing at each other meme.
Yeah.
I almost don't. I feel like that might just be a bit over the top and cheesy if they try and bring that into this. But you know that they're going to wanna. They were like, "Let's do this. All the kids love this."
100%, mate. 100%, unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
I thought you were going to say, while you're talking about Venom, have you like the latest rumor that's going around about Tom Hardy, that he's in the No Way Home as well, because you were seen wearing a hat?
Wow.
Have you seen there's a baseball cap that apparently is only available for the production team or anyone, the cast that's actually in this film.
Okay.
And Tom Hardy was spotted wearing it. And when they say spotted wearing it, he was doing an interview or something wearing it. So
but I'm sure he could just go, "Can I get one of those hats?"
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't in it. Like, I mean, come on, guys. All right.
If there's that many people out there that are just being threatened, you can't say a single goddamn thing about what's going on in it. as a big major surprise cameo or whatever comes into it, why would you be allowed to wear that?
You can't wear that hat. You can't go on the chat show wearing that hat. And like, but just let the people just talk about it and worry about it. It's fine.
I mean,
it
is amazingly funny, and some of the theories and stuff which come with it, you're like, you know what, it would make sense, because like this is his last one now for Tom Holland, apart from like the crossovers and stuff.
Yeah, I know you say that, so, but
yeah, I know,
I don't believe that.
I'm completely with you on that, but apparently this is the thing, so it would make sense towards the end, especially with the name of the title, No Way Home, that he goes and gets dragged in by Venom into the actual Sony verse, and that's his little be like, hey, look, we're there now. I can occasionally pop over and do like, the occasional thing with the Avengers and the big, multi-hero films, but for now, yeah, I'm going to go over here.
No, because then it becomes like the whole Arrowverse and Supergirl thing, how they've got this button that they can press that can call Supergirl over when they need her, yet they never do. It's only like, all right, I think it's time for a crossover event, and they're like, Supergirl, can you come and help? And she's like, oh yeah, I'll leave my world now and I'll come over to you. Like, I don't do that.
But it's the same as Captain Marvel, though.
Yeah, same, exactly.
That's the thing.
Where have you been?
And the Eternals and all that sort of jazz monkeys. Like we've got
exactly
things in place, but they just never use them because they don't think, oh shit, people are going to think about this.
Yeah, so now we're going to have to explain it in the movie. Yeah, like, no, they don't interfere or whatever. I mean, but I did like how in that episode of What If, I've just watched the third episode, which is what if the Avengers, the Earth Mightiest heroes, all died. So they all get killed off. And there's a moment when Nick Fury picks up his pager, the Captain Marvel pager, and he's like contemplating pressing it. And I was like, okay, there you go. It just shows he had it all the time. He literally was like, I'm going to use it when we need it. And he eventually did when everyone was getting killed. 50% of the world.
I completely forgot about What If. I only watched the zombie one. Need to watch 2 now, I think. It's because the next episode was Killmonger, and I was like,
Yeah. And
just
Star Wars Visions it was launched last night as well.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, it's there today.
It's been getting amazing reviews as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, it's hopefully, if it's what I think it's going to be just visually just really impressive. It's going to be really cool seeing these studios do something in the Star Wars universe.
They're saying I've read about 4 or 5 different reviews on it, and the only downside to the whole thing is because it's short mini vignettes and they're all so different.
Yeah.
Watching them in a back-to-back fashion ruins it. That's the only bad thing they had to say about it. And I was like, well, the funny thing is, they're short. Don't fucking watch them all together. When you know they're by different studios and you think, oh, this might dampen how I thought that one looked. Don't do it like that. They just watch one a day. Watch whatever, just do it completely different. Don't binge watch all of them in the one hit.
No. Or just keep in your mind that they're all completely different, separate things.
But apparently the fights in them are amazing. The visual aesthetics and like every single one is fantastic.
They always are.
I love the music that they've used for it as well. The way they've done like the Japanese samurai one. The way that they've done Star Wars tune to the old Japanese style is stunning.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
the fight scenes in anime are always just like, they're like nothing else, because it's not just the look of them, the fact that they will drag out a moment that is just the protagonist like swinging his blade. It'll just like, you'll just have this crop of his face, and then for the next 10 minutes it'll be the character's thoughts about like, if I do this, then what's like, it really over dramatizes this one tiny little 2-second moment, and then it's like, I don't know. It happens in like Demon Slayer loads, Attack on Titan's exactly the same, Sword Art Online. It just seems to be this really standard anime trope.
Oh, it is an anime trope, 100%.
Yeah, but it just works really well, and I'm looking forward to that in Star Wars. If that makes sense.
And it looks as though there's plenty of that just from the trailer alone.
Exactly.
When they like swinging the lightsabers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting.
Right, we need to wrap it up, Red. But I've just got one little thing I need to bring to you. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hello, this is Winnie the Pooh. You are listening to the Nerd OD podcast. Oh, bother.
That sounded exactly like Winnie the Pooh.
The oh bother bit wasn't.
It was. That was the best bit. It's almost like they've whenever they've seen someone types in "oh bother" in the in the text box, they go, "All right, just play this very standard clip of him saying "oh bother."
Hello, this is Winnie the Pooh. You are listening to the Nerd OD podcast. Oh, bother.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Reg isn't impressed.
Oh bother! Like a really bit of a more drawn out, like depressed one. Not. It sounds like he's just reading it. Like,
okay, well, like, he's listening to the Nerd OD podcast. Why would he be depressed?
Exactly, but it's when he's like, listen to the Nerd OD podcast. Oh bother! I'm like,
I mean, that's just
far too much into
fault.
It because you're just.
That's
typing,
my fault for just typing.
So I've just realised as I'm saying it, I'm like, it's not Winnie the Pooh's fault. It's yours.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
But
yeah.
I get it.
Sorry. Next time I will get into character and be like, right, what is his motivation? What would he be saying?
How many spaces do I need to make it sound as though it's a separate thing?
Yeah.
But no, well done, Dan.
Thank you. I think.
So that's the intro anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The best thing is you can make him say anything you want, Reg.
Can you make him say fluffy biscuits?
I can. Takes longer than just, press a button. Hold on.
Oh, right, okay.
But I can cut the time out. What do you want him to say? Fluffy biscuits?
Yeah. But I'm torn between playing Shenmue or eating fluffy biscuits.
I'm torn between playing Shenmue. I'm not going to spell it right. I'm going to spell it phonetically.
Yeah.
And eating fluffy biscuits.
Yeah. I don't know why fluffy biscuits was the first thing that came to my head.
No, what are fluffy biscuits?
I don't know.
It's generating, it's synthesizing, it's taking all the ones and the zeros, and it is making Winnie the Pooh talk about fluffy biscuits. Okay, yes. Here we go.
I'm torn between playing Shenmue and eating fluffy biscuits. Oh, bother.
Fluffy biscuits?
I'm torn between playing Shenmue and eating fluffy biscuits. Oh, bother.
Oh, the way he says fluffy is amazing. No, there's the intro.
Thank you. Okay.
It shouldn't be that funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
Oh dear. God. We're going to have some fun with this.
We really are. You'll have to send me the link as well so I can have a look at see who else we've got.
It's for everyone, it's uberduck.ai.
Uberduck.ai.
Yeah. This, I mean, you name it, it's on there. Rocko's Modern Life, Ring Fit Adventure, Red versus Blue, Red Faction. Has it got? Maybe it's got Shenmue. It hasn't got Shenmue. Sleeping Dogs, Sonic the Hedgehog, Soul Calibur, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, Star Fox
Hey
64. Hey Dougie, Hij. Hey, it hasn't got Hey Dougie.
It's a shame.
Oh, it's got a Hi Puffy Amiyumi. Hitman, Homestar Runner, Hoops and Yo-Yo, Hotel Transylvania. Yeah,
it's got a lot of stuff.
Lot of stuff. Anywho, it's been a pleasure.
Fun.
Yeah, thank you for being my host today.
And thank you for being here with me.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's no... Sorry, I was just on the Resident Evil thing. I know we were leaving, weren't we? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was hoping they were going to have... What to name?
When you log in, there are more. So when I went in before, there was only... Cookie Monster for Sesame Street, but now I've got Elmo, Grover, Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, loads of them. Yeah. Alan Wake. Oh yeah, speaking of which, Alan Wake Remastered is out in like 2 weeks.
We do like talking about old news a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently it might be coming to Switch.
Awesome.
So there you go.
Ace Attorney, Adventure Time. Anyway, right. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Toodles.
No bother.